condition on SD, okay? Now if I imitate this, we're going to be able to say
Open your in.
10% of S should be equal to 20% of D, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to express that a little more compactly in succinct mathematical notation in a very simple way. Okay, but that's perfectly good. Okay? And then there is, not sure anybody completely stated it this way, but if not, people were very close. Wouldn't that do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if the matrix does the same thing that, that arrows do, right? Then this is totally equivalent, should be totally equivalent to this. Of course, it takes proof to prove that this means the same as this, okay? So we'll say, can you prove the equivalence? Well, this is in pretty standard mathematical notation, right? This says that 0.1 S has to equal 0.2 D, right? Okay? Whereas this says what? Well, this says, if you just multiply the matrices, this says that 0.9 S plus 0.2 D, which is what you get from the first row times the column here, 0.1 S plus 0.8 D should equal SD, right?
Yeah.
So this condition tells you this condition tells you this. Now we've got both of these conditions in succinct mathematical notation, more or less succinct. Okay? And we want to see if these conditions are totally equivalent. Maybe prove that they're totally equivalent. Okay? Now I'm going to take this a step further because I'm asking you to think about what it means to prove something. And that's something you're not all that used to doing, especially since we've dumbed out geometry down from doing Euclidean proofs. You've done a few, basically a good geometry course, prove all of Euclid's elements, okay? And learn to do that. And nobody comes out of geometry courses even close to do that unless they have an IQ over about 160, okay? But again, 3/4 of the people are never going to be able to do that. So the quarter of the people who can never get to. I think it's bad education, but there are economic reasons for it. Not the fault of your schools, not the fault of your teachers. Okay. I would say it's the fault of our culture because nobody wants to work hard enough to do that. Not nobody, many of you would. Very few people do, and the majority kind of rules things. Not that I'm against democracy. Okay. The alternative is much worse. But there are democracies in which people actually learn these things. Okay, anyhow, you got these things. Forgive the side comments, but kind of think about them maybe. If I'm all wet, figure out why. Okay? Sometimes I am. Not really. Okay, 0.1 S equals 0.2 D and this. Okay, well, this condition equivalent means if it's this, then it's this, and if it's this, then it's this, right? If it's one, it's the other. Is that equivalent to what you get here, which basically says that 0.9s plus 0.2d equals s, and 0.1s plus 0.8d equals d. Okay? So, okay, so, if this is so, is this also so? Because this is two equations, right? Okay? So see, I'm just going to give you about a minute to at least get a start on this. If I see nobody's making any kind of a start, I'll give you a further hint. But you get to assume this, 0.1s equals 0.2d. Can you show that this first equation is so? Given this condition, is this going to be so? Okay? And then, given this condition, is this going to be so? If so, then you can say, if this is true, then all this is true, right? So let's focus on this condition. Does this condition imply this equality?